Have you ever been asked, how is the market? And you freeze up and a boring answer comes out like, it's good or it's slow. Stop doing that. You're missing a golden opportunity to show your value as a real estate expert. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn that casual question that comes up all the time into a powerful conversation that starts to build trust, positions you as the go-to expert, and allows you to potentially get leads without sounding salesy or scripted. So let's dive into that right now. Hey, it's Nick Doherty here, and I'm very excited to share this video with you because we're going to be talking about the most common question that we get in real estate as real estate agents, and we're going to talk about a framework of how to answer that. So it's so easy to answer this question every time and turn this into a golden opportunity to get to know somebody, provide value, and look like an expert. So let's get into that right now. Again, we're going to be answering, how is the market? And instead of answering, it's good, or it's slow, or I'm busy. Oftentimes we say that. I used to say that all the time. Oh, I'm busy. I got a lot going on. There's this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's a bunch of BS. Okay, first off, they didn't ask you if you were busy or not. They asked you how the market is. So we want to answer that specifically. Okay, and a lot of times we kind of fumble with this question, right? We really don't know how to answer this specifically. But we'd like to turn this into an opportunity to investigate, okay, and figure out where their head is at or why they are even asking that question. So I learned this framework probably a couple of years ago, and since then it's made it so easy to answer this question every time. So here it is. We're starting with, how is the market? Okay, when somebody asks you that, it's a framework to go off of, okay? So it's not always a generic answer that you're going to be giving. It's depending on what the market is like. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is broad market. What is like the broad market around you doing? Okay, kind of like the macro level. And then from there, we move into local. So the micro market. We talk about how the micro market is doing. And if you know your numbers, this will be very easy to talk about too. And then we move into future pace. Okay, what we see the market is going to be doing next, or in the next 6 months, the next year, we talk about that as well. And then we ask them a question to see where they're at and continue the conversation. Okay, so what does that look like? I put together a short script that if you would like this, comment below, let me know, script, how is the market? And I can send you this script, okay? So you have this, so you can go off of this, and this will make your life so much easier as a real estate agent when you know how to answer this question, okay? So what does this look like? Here's the script below. Broad, okay? Somebody asks you, how is the real estate market, Nick? Great question. Overall, the real estate market has been really dynamic lately. Okay, interest rates have played a big role in buyers' activity, and across the country, we're seeing a bit of a shift. Some areas are still competitive, while other areas are stabilizing after the highs of the past few years. Okay, what did we do there? We just shared a broad scope of what is going on in a macro level, and they probably know this already. However, you're sharing it as a broad overview and confirming probably what they know anyways, okay? In this section, again, you don't have to memorize what I just shared with you there. You're just really thinking about what is the broad market doing, and this answer could change every time. You could talk about, well, the interest rates just dropped, and there's this going on and that going on, and with the tariffs going on, with Donald Trump, with our political landscape here in Canada, it can change, right? So you can talk about the broad overview of what is going on. From there, what do? We go into local. Okay, for me, this is very, very easy to talk about because I always know my numbers. One of my first mentors said, you need to know your numbers. If you want to succeed in real estate, there's two things he told me. You need to be likable and you need to know your local numbers. So that's what I've done. I know my numbers. So this is where I get into the numbers sometimes, but here is a rough script that you can go off to. Here in I live in Aurelia, Ontario. Inventory is relatively low, which is keeping prices steady. And homes that are priced right and present nicely are still moving quickly. Okay, in fact, I just saw a home down the street with multiple offers. So while it's not as crazy as it was, serious buyers are very active. Okay? It's short, sweet. You're telling them what is happening in the marketplace. Okay, it makes it really, really easy for them to understand, right? And it's relatable because they're in the market. Okay, and then from there we move into what is almost the last phase. Is we future pace. We talk about what we think the market is going to do in the future. Looking ahead, a lot depends on the interest rates. Okay, as we know, if they drop even slightly, we could see another wave of active buyers. For sellers this spring and early summer might be a sweet spot to list and put you into a competitive market. And for buyers, this might be a window to get in and without the bidding pressure that we had in the last couple of years. That's it, guys. Or you can say, hey, the market's going to stabilize. We're going to probably see a 3 to 5 increase like we have historically in the past once we're through COVID, not like that crazy market there. Whatever you think it is here, okay, you can put in here. Future pace them into something that is positive, okay, and answer that question there. So those are basically the three main things, okay? We're going broad, we're going local, and then we future pace them. How's the market? That's what we do. And they don't even have to be as long as what I have in this script here. It can be short and sweet, but that's like the framework to think about when somebody asks you that question. Okay. And the very last thing we would like to do to keep the conversation going, to understand why they are asking the question, right? A lot of times they're just asking the question because, okay, they know you're a real estate agent. Everybody likes to know what is going on because they own a house. But what we're going to do to keep the conversation going is ask them, how come you ask? Are you thinking about buying, selling, or investing? And let them answer the question. Let them talk and allow the conversation to flow. Okay? A lot of the time, they're just going to respond, oh, I'm just curious. Or I'm just interested to find out what prices are in our area. And that's fine too. And we can answer that question about saying, are you curious about the value of your home? Are you curious about the value of your community? Are you curious about the value of a loved one's house? Is there anything going on in your life of why you're curious about the values of the prices? And from there, you carry on the conversation. You let them talk and then carry on the conversation. Again, this will position you as somebody that is, you're providing them value, okay? You're not just going, oh, the market's good. Or, yep, the market's slow right now. I'm busy. I mean, these are the most common questions I hear. It's like, oh my gosh, they're not asking you any of that. Why would you say the market is slow? Okay, to begin with, there is always buyers and sellers. So position that around a positive. Okay, if your house is priced properly and presents well, it's still going to sell in this market. Okay, you never say that the market is totally slow, dead, anything like that, because they'll go to some other real estate agent that's going to answer that differently, that has more of a positive outlook. Okay, they're going to remember that you said, oh, you said I'm not going to do anything because the market is slow. Okay, you got to put a positive spin on when you're answering that question. Okay, so think about this, not one word answers. Key distinction here with anything you're doing in real estate, with anything that you're doing in your life, with any interaction, is value. Lead with value. How can you leave somebody better than when you found them? Can you connect them with somebody? Can you send them an email? Can you do an evaluation on their house? How can you leave them better than you found them? Can you have a wonderful conversation with them that they feel really good when they leave the conversation? Have you been able to answer any questions for them? How can you leave them better than when you found them? Okay, so think about that when you're asked this question. What value can I provide this person? And within this framework, if you're doing this properly, this will allow you to do just that, is answer this question with value, open up a conversation, and position yourself as a local expert and a trusted source. Okay, and from there, you see where it goes. All right, so this is how you would go about answering, how is the market? Now, I trust If you follow this framework, if you embrace this framework, this will be the easiest question you can answer. And this will serve you for your entire real estate career moving forward. I can promise you that. This makes it very, very simple to answer this question. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please comment below, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to continue to provide you with value of things that I've learned in my real estate career, and I'm happy to share everything that I've learned in my business with you to make your life easier too. And I wish I had somebody sharing videos with me and content with me so I could have made my journey a lot simpler than what it was. Okay, so subscribe to the channel, and if you're interested to learn more, check out this video here talking about how the number one skill to acquire as a real estate agent that'll make your life and your conversions a lot better, and you'll end up doing a lot more deals. Okay, I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.